Well, what you gonna do, brother, when Hulk Hogan puts TNA under, dude? Welcome, everyone, to NoDQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. I am the owner of NoDQ, Aaron Rift, here to talk about wrestling. We have Bound for Glory this coming Sunday. And the first question I have here is, what did you think about Hulk Hogan's comments towards Robert Roode? Now, for those of you that haven't read it yet, go check out NoDQ.com. We posted an interview that Hulk Hogan did promoting Bound for Glory, and basically he buried Bobby Roode. He said that he doesn't see Bobby Roode as the next guy. He thinks that if he had to bet money on somebody, Jeff Hardy would be the future of TNA if he can keep his head on straight. So yeah, he said Roode's not ready. Roode doesn't have the right look. He prefers James Storm's look over Roode. Now, I read this and I was just, my jaw dropped. I was mind-boggled by this. Now, let's just say for argument's sake that Hogan's right. Robert Roode's not ready to be a main eventer. The problem is TNA has already booked Bobby Roode as the future of TNA. He is in the main event of their biggest show of the year this coming Sunday. Why are we buying the pay-per-view? If Bobby Roode is not a top guy, then why should we even bother? It just makes no sense, and I cannot believe that Hogan would say something like this. Logic would tell you that Hogan would put over Bobby Roode like $1 million to try to sell the fucking pay-per-view. God, it just gives me a massive headache just thinking about it. I have no idea what Hulk Hogan is thinking here, and you know, some people could make the argument that he's a heel and he's supposed to say this, but he put over Jeff Hardy. I don't know. I should just quit now. Hey, Aaron, you're awesome. What's your TNA versus WWE dream card? The TNA writers versus the WWE writers. Whichever group can come up with a more logical script wins the match. So it'll probably end in a double DQ or whatever. Hey, Aaron, what did you think of Rhino in the WWE? I personally liked him as a performer, thought he was good in the ring, and had average mic skills and could be pushed towards the WWE or World Championship. Thanks. Well, he was the last ECW World Champion, but he was a big fish in a small pond. I think he was a good wrestler, decent on the mic, but maybe they could have done a little bit more with him. Who knows? But I never saw him as anything more than just a solid mid-card act. That's just my personal opinion. Hey, Aaron, who in your opinion do you think had the best reign as WWF/WWE European Champion? D'Lo Brown. D'Lo Brown, and when he had the IC title, the Euro Continental, was that Kurt Angle? I don't even remember, but I like D'Lo a lot as European Champion. And I actually liked Al Snow a lot as European Champion. I think he gets overlooked a lot, but I remember he would come out in like a different costume representing a different country. I thought that was pretty awesome, and it was just something different as the European Champion. So there's somebody I think was underrated as European Champion, Al Snow. But my all-time favorite would have to be D'Lo Brown. Do you think the Bash at the Beach shoot with Vince Russo, Jeff Jarrett, and Hulk Hogan was real or a work? Well, everything up to Russo coming out was a work. Hogan went out there and said, he laid down for Jeff Jarrett, and he said that this is the reason the company's in the shape it's in because of bullshit like this. That was all part of the script. But then Russo came out and totally buried Hulk Hogan. That was not in the script. That led to a lawsuit between Hogan and WCW and Vince Russo, and that was Hogan's last appearance. So it was just Russo, fucking with Hogan, and that whole thing was mind-boggling right there. It kind of reminds me of a wrestling promotion we have going on right now. Just based off your memory, what year do you think was WWE's strongest with quality pay-per-views? Maybe 2002 with WrestleMania 18 and SummerSlam, both being arguably the best year for their respective events. I agree with you. I also like 1999. Those pay-per-views were a lot of fun for me. I was at the 1999 Royal Rumble in Anaheim, California. I love that pay-per-view. There wasn't a lot of wrestling to it. It was during that period where it was all about the entrances. Everyone just popped for the entrances, and then it kind of got flat for the match. But yeah, in terms of like in-ring performances, probably 2002 was their best year. Maybe 2005. 2005 had a lot of good pay-per-views, from WrestleMania 21 to One Night Stand to Vengeance with Triple H and Batista, Hell in a Cell. I liked SummerSlam a lot. Just that was a good year. What are the best places to have a pay-per-view aside from Los Angeles and New York City? Well, I live in Los Angeles, in the Los Angeles area, but I would not say they're one of WWE's best wrestling cities. I would always have to go, besides New York, I'd have to go with Chicago and Toronto and Montreal. Those are the strongest cities, in my opinion. And I mean, sometimes LA has a good crowd, but they tend to skew more casual than some of the other cities. And unless it's like a SummerSlam, then you get, or a major pay-per-view, they'll get more of the hardcore fans. Do you think we will see Shane McMahon back in WWE? Well, anything's possible. Never say never. Shane's been gone for a couple years now, doing his own thing, doing his other projects, but perhaps one day we'll see him back in a WWE ring. I think that's very much in the realm of possibility. Do you think the NWO would have made as big an impact on wrestling if Sting was the third man instead of Hogan? Hogan at first didn't want to turn heel. Your thoughts? It definitely would not have been as effective. I mean, part of the NWO's success was Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, the attitude that they brought in, but Hogan was the drawing power, and Hogan as a heel was something people wanted to see for years, so it was highly anticipated. It was the combination of the coolness of Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, the Too Sweet, the For Life, they kind of were in with pop culture, but Hulk Hogan was the man, the top dog, the big draw. So when he turned heel, it was and created the Hollywood Hogan character, it was that whole combination that made it successful. Do you think it is possible that Gregory Helms / The Hurricane will return to WWE? If so, what gimmick do you think he will use? Like I said before, Shane McMahon, anything's possible. I think it's unlikely at this point because he was never more than a mid-card performer, and they're bringing in new guys and they're focusing on the future, not the past. But I could always see him being brought back as a veteran to try to help some of the younger guys out. That's always a possibility, and I wish him well. I know he's dealing with some tough times right now, and he could probably use the money and benefit from the job. So, yeah, I'd like to see him back, definitely. Aaron, what are the chances that the Dudley Boyz will come back to the WWE? Everyone's asking who's coming back. Should I say the same answer for the third time? Anything's possible. But once again, I think it's unlikely because they had their fame in WWE. They had their run. If they come back, it's just going to be rehashing more of the past, and WWE needs to look towards the future, and that's just the way it is. How far in advance is WWE scripted? Not very. If the last several weeks of WWE television is any indication, we keep hearing about how they have like 7 or 8 different scripts, and it's always getting changed, and they go in one direction, then change plans. It's quite a mess, and WWE could really benefit from trying to book things better in advance. You look back into the late 80s, Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage, that feud was built up, planned out. The whole thing was planned out over a year in advance. By WrestleMania 4, when Savage won the title, the plan was to have Hogan versus Savage at next year's WrestleMania. They already had that figured out, and they already decided we're going to start teasing it at SummerSlam, and then the Survivor Series, build it up a little bit more, Royal Rumble, build it up a little bit more, and then finally at the Saturday night's main event, they finally pulled the trigger on it. That would be great if WWE could start planning it out better, but they always worry about spoilers getting out, and it's just things have changed. It's a different era with the internet and everything. It's a different playing field, but I would like to see WWE just go with a plan and stick with it, and if it leaks out, it leaks out. So be it. All right, that about does it for NoDQ&A video. Thanks a lot for checking out the show. Leave a comment at youtube.com/NoDQCAW. Do you agree with Hulk Hogan? Do you think that Bobby Roode is not ready? Or is he ready? Let me know what you think, and we'll see you next time for No DQ&A video.